Welcome, beautiful souls, to The Matchmaker with Letitia Underwood. I'm so thrilled to have each and every one of you joining me today for this special live stream. Today's topic is a truly fascinating one as we dive into the world of relationships and love. We'll be exploring the insights and wisdom from the incredible book Getting to I Do, written by the renowned Dr. Patricia Allen. Dr. Patricia Allen's book is a treasure trove of knowledge, guiding us through the journey of finding and nurturing fulfilling relationships. Her profound insights have touched the lives of countless individuals, helping them navigate the complexities of dating, love, and commitment. So, whether you're single, in a relationship, or simply seeking to deepen your understanding of love, you're in for a treat today. Together, we'll explore the key principles shared by Dr. Patricia Allen and discuss how they can shape your paths to finding true connection and lasting love. Feel free to engage with me in the chat, ask questions, share your thoughts, and let me know where you're tuning in from. This is a safe space to discuss matters of the heart openly and respectfully. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's embark on this beautiful journey together. Together, we'll discover how you can all get closer to I do and create loving relationships that stand the test of time. Thank you for being here with me, dear viewers and subscribers. Let's make this live stream an unforgettable experience. Now let's dive into the pages of Getting to I Do and explore the transformative power of love. All right, so today we are on chapter 18 for the rest of our lives. We are down to the finish line. We have just one more chapter to go. So, Getting to I Do, chapter 18 for the rest of our lives. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you are a returning viewer, I appreciate it. So, whether you are returning or new, please make sure to hit the like button and to share. So, for the rest of our lives, between the ages of 40 and 60, hormones switch for all of us. It's when men become women and women become men. What I mean is that after the age of 50, when you are in menopause and your estrogen levels drop, the progesterone will begin to impact on you. You will be more thought oriented and less feeling oriented than you were earlier. You will be able to deal well with the push and shove of business. You won't need at this point to be the loving mom anymore because usually the kids are grown. It is very valuable for a woman of a certain age with her progesterone based system to go out into the world and make her mark. Now is her time. As a man ages, his testosterone level drops and he becomes influenced by the estrogen in his body. Because a man will be more feeling centered than he was previously, he cannot be expected to be as performance oriented as he was. I usually find that the older man is crab. Wait, sorry. I usually find that the older man is kinder than the younger one, and the older woman is often crabbier than the younger one, because estrogen, wherever it is, likes to feel good. So for a woman, it's during her youth, and for a man, it's his maturity. A woman makes a grave mistake when she does not help her mature man relax into his feelings. This is the time when he wants to do the gourmet cooking and she wants to go back to school. If a feminine energy woman requires a man to stay an overachieving, money making, problem solving, masculine male all of his life, she risks losing him because she is asking him to overextend himself to the point of stress, which can be a cause of heart disease and other chronic disabling illnesses. A man must learn to be more like a woman. Eventually, he must kick back, retire, go back into a pleasure centered world, and stop making the last buck on the planet. And after midlife, women must stop seeing themselves as total recipients of a man's generosity. They must start taking responsibility. Menopause is now being delayed. It used to occur most often around age 45, but now it usually arrives at about age 52. Women are having children later because women are younger than they were. A 40-year-old woman is now the way a 30-year-old woman used to be. Communication techniques and assumptions must switch with the mature couple. Where formerly he was expected to know what he thought and what he wanted, now she must know as an older woman what she wants and what she thinks. As a young man, he used to take care of her. Now, in their maturity, she must take care of him. Whereas earlier, the initiative right was his, and the veto right was hers. In midlife, those rights switch. Now, in maturity, she must know what she thinks and wants, but she must also listen to her man. She must be able to cherish him because he is now in his feelings phase. So she says, "How do you feel about retiring or moving here or there?" And he will tell her, and she will listen. With an age gap, problems do arise. When he is older and she is younger, both are biologically female. They must negotiate over the biological urge to receive pleasure. When she is older and he is younger, they must negotiate over the biological urge to control the other. Here is a pledge I ask all the women at my seminars who are over 40 to take. I promise to cherish the feelings of my older man, even when he is illogical, irrational, and often irritating. Of course, there is one for the men over 40 as well. I promise to respect the woman in my life, even when I know I used to be smarter. So the point of this process is first that you know yourself is at first that you know yourself. Know what principle or energy system you are carrying into the relationship, but be prepared to make changes to ease the relationship into its golden years. And second, that you allow the other person to be opposite of you so that you work together in equity to exchange your energy systems. You get into trouble only when you duplicate systems. You do not get into trouble when you complement them. Okay, so that was the end of that chapter. That was a quite short, very short chapter, which as I was reading it, I was like, whoa, hold on now. Because it's like, I never thought of this before. I thought men were supposed to stay in their masculine thinking side and women are supposed to stay in their feminine feeling side. But then that explains how, as women are starting to get older and they want to do more, because the progesterone the estrogen is lower, and it actually starts in your 40s that your estrogen levels start to lower. They don't lower as much as when you go into menopause, but they're starting to lower. So by the time you're 40, if your kids are young, you're not nurturing small kids, you're not nurturing underage kids anymore. You're secreting more progesterone than you are estrogen. You're going to want to do more. And so it makes sense that women who have been in these 20 plus marriages are starting to change. They're now even if they're with these very active masculine males who are still in their thinking side, she's no longer, because he's being productive, he's working out, he's taking care of himself. Look at all the high powered men who find themselves divorced. Those men are relatively in good condition, right? They're taking care of themselves, they're eating healthy, and they're active, they're exercising. That helps to boost and continues to secrete testosterone. It's men who are more settled, right? They're not eating as healthy, they're not working out, they're not as active, they're more sedentary. So they will start to lose their testosterone levels will start to drop. So they become more settled. But when you're dealing with a high powered, a highly driven, competitive man, testosterone is pumping. But that's not stopping the woman's biology. So she is now moving into her male thinking side. And so she wants to do more. She wants to get an education. She wants to get a career. She wants to start a business. But the husband is not on board with that. He can't understand it. He's looking at it like, why? Why do you want to do all that? This changes our dynamic. This is not what I want. We had a plan and this was the plan. And so he's not understanding. And then she's not understanding why he's not understanding. So then boom, now they're divorced. Because people are like, why? How are you getting to 25, 27, 28, 29 years and you've getting a divorce? It's either because he now wants to retire and settle down and take a step back. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. We shouldn't do that. I want to be this power couple and you need to go hard just like I'm going hard. And he wants to settle down and relax. And she doesn't want to. So they're unbalanced. Or she does have a driven, highly competitive man, and she's supposed to be the settled down one. And now she wants to become highly driven and competitive, and he's not on board with that. That makes sense as to why you see marriages after 25, 27, 30 years, 40 years, they're ending. And then you're like, wait, what? What could happen? What could cause you to want to break up or end your marriage after 25, 27, 30 years? It's because there's a change in our biology that no longer allows us to be compatible. So, in order for that marriage to go the distance, those two have to be amenable. They need to be adaptable. But you can't just become amenable. You can't just become adaptable. This is something that starts from the very beginning of the relationship. You have to vet for that. Can a person grow? Can a person change? Are they amenable to change? Can they adapt to the change? When people say that people change over time, they truly do. Biology dictates this. I, for one, am not a creature of change. I'm a creature of habit. I detest change, but I've noticed as I've gotten older that I have to be more welcoming of change, of growth, of things not going my way, of being more flexible, being adaptable, being able to adapt. And I found that when I've done that, it didn't kill me. I just had to find a new way of doing things, accepting things, be more accepting. Actually, my daughter helped me to realize this because she's very flowing and different perspective, and she would not allow me, and our relationship could not flourish if I did not become adaptable and amenable. So I've learned that through raising my child to where I now can be that way in my relationship, where I may not see it right away, but I'm amenable to it. I can adapt to it. And even if I'm uncomfortable with it at first, once I start thinking and having conversations with myself, I can accept it. So people have to be amenable to change. You have to be willing to adapt. And what's happening in these marriages that's 25, 30, 40 years, they're not changing. The people in it or one person doesn't want to change, doesn't want to grow, doesn't want to go into another direction. So it's important to understand that. It's important to see that about someone very early on. So it was a very short chapter. It was like 1.5 pages. So that's why I'm giving the dialogue right now because there's nothing left to read from. Tomorrow Monday, I'm going to read chapter 19, 10 secrets for getting and keeping the right man. This you want to make sure you're tuned in for because this is what you all been waiting for. Is Letitia, I can get the right man. How do I keep him? Or I can't get him. So how do I get him? And then if I get him, how can I keep him? So that's what chapter 19 will go into. So so chapter 18, that for me, it was the shortest chapter, but it was the most profound chapter to an extent because we all are looking at these marriages, these decades long marriages. Even after 10 years, there's going to be some growth, there's going to be some change. And if you are not amenable and adaptable to change and growth, your marriage will end. It will fail. So you need, as a woman, you need to cultivate yourself into someone who is capable of adapting and growing. So as your man gets older, he's going to want something different. And then the men have to understand and accept that once the woman gets older, she's going to want something different. You cannot have the same exact dynamic that you had when you were in your 20s and your 30s. Heck, the whole lifestyle has changed. You no longer have any kids to be concerned about, right? He may even want to downsize, right? Because he's like, listen, I'm going to retire, may make less money. We don't have the kids are out of college and everything. We can retire and go and get a little condo, just the two of us. We don't need this big house. And you're like, but I love my house and I love the area. But he's stressing himself out because he's working trying to keep that same lifestyle when things have changed, right? Or she wants to go back to school, or she wants to start a business, and he is like, what do you need that for? So he's making what her feelings, what she wants to do, what she's thinking about, he's making it insignificant. So that's why you see men, you'll see older women 40 plus, they're more in their thinking side, and now they're trying to go hard for their kids. Most of the time their kids are not little anymore. Once you get 40 plus, most women, if they have kids, their kids are teenagers or they're adults, so you don't have to focus on being mommy. So now what are you going to do? You're going to start a career, you're going to start a different profession, you're going to go off to school because you're needing to do something, you want to be productive. And at that time, you're going to see a lot of men. That's why you see a lot of men that are comfortable. They're just like, hey, I got my job. I make some decent money. I got my friends. I got my life. I'm good. And that's why you see this mixed match between older men and older women. Because the older women don't think the majority of the older men are ambitious enough or driven enough. They're like, hey, why are you comfortable? Why are you complacent? You should be trying to go hard just as much as I am. And then the older men are looking at the older women and like, why do you want to work so hard? We're older now. Like, why are you trying to do all of this? This is the time where we should be relaxing. We've raised our kids, let's just enjoy life. Let's just enjoy each other. And this is why age gap dating works to an extent. Or, I mean, it doesn't work. Sorry, it doesn't work because you have a younger feeling woman, and then you have an older feeling man. That's why most men can't get younger women, because an older feeling man and a younger feeling woman is just not going to work. Sure, he likes her relaxed vibe. She likes his mature vibe. But in the end, it's like, okay, what are you doing to make sure that the family is going to be taken care of? I'm giving you kids. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to make sure the family is taken care of? This is why an older woman and a younger man doesn't really work for the long term. They're both going to be focused on controlling each other. They're going to be competing with one another or pushing the other one to be driven. So it's you're going to have two people who are in their thinking side. So the actual relationships that work the best are the ones where you have, if you're going to do age gap dating, he shouldn't be so much older to where he's now on his feeling side. Unless if he is in his feeling side, then get with a woman who is in her thinking side, but that's going to require you to be with a woman who's in her 40s. That's going to make you feel like you're dating a younger woman. So you're 50 something, 60 something, you're in your feeling side, get you an ambitious, driven 45 plus year old woman. She's had all the kids she can have. You don't want any more. That works. For an older woman, she's going to have to get a young man who is in his feeling side. That's what the whole entire book is about. The book is about energy, making sure that your energy, there's synergy between your energy, that there is a connection there. The masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, the thinking and the feeling. When they say opposites attract, that's the only time opposites attract. Opposites attract as far as values, morals, ethics, and all those things. That does not work for a long-term relationship. But if you're a feminine female, you want to take on the role of the feminine female, then you must choose a man who is in his masculine. Now, for all the ladies who desire high-value men, listen, you don't have to worry about him being in his feeling side. Those men tend to stay in their thinking side because they're very ambitious and very competitive. This chapter is for most other men and women. This applies to most other men and women. But I will say with those men, they tend to lose their wives because their wives are now getting older and switching into their thinking side, and they're not amenable. Men at the top are not that amenable. They're not adaptable. They want what they want. Not saying they won't be generous, but this is where you have to be an excellent negotiator to get what you want. Don't just give up and say, you know what, he doesn't get it. He's being obtuse and he's being no. He just doesn't get it. This is when you need to become an excellent negotiator with your high powered, high competent, high value man and negotiate based on how you feel because he's still in his thinking. So he's not going to get what you think. You're not going to get him to understand what you want based on what you're thinking. It's got to come from a place of how you feel because masculine energy responds to their thinking side, responds to the feeling side of the feminine energy. So negotiate the best deal. And sorry, this stream today is going to be so late, but I am so excited for what I have coming up, the topics and the conversations that I'm going to discuss since I've finally gotten through getting to I do. So we're almost home. Chapter 19 coming up tomorrow, same time, same place. Again, make sure you like and share. And if this is your first time watching, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you would like to help the channel grow, please feel free to do that by sending me a in-kind gift. You can send it through my Cash App at $ the matchmaker, or you can send it to PayPal at the matchmaker at twoheartsexclusive.com. I'm hoping that you can help the channel grow by subscribing. The more subscribers I get, then I will be able to accept thank you, super thanks and super chats. So until next time, same place, same time tomorrow. I am the matchmaker, and you have a great day.